Never plant peanuts directly into the soil where they may fail to grow properly. Within just 3 days, tiny roots begin to emerge, allowing the seed to absorb nutrients. Soon after, a small shoot pushes upward and the plant starts growing rapidly. After about 30 days, the peanut plant reaches nearly 40 centimeters in height and begins producing small yellow flowers. A few days later, these flowers bend downward, marking the beginning of peanut formation beneath the soil. Around 90 days later, when the edges of the leaves start turning yellow, it's finally time to harvest. But after pulling up the plant, there were only 2 tiny peanuts, which was incredibly disappointing. So instead of giving up, a new plan was made to grow a much larger harvest. A basket of peanuts was borrowed from a neighbor. The shells were removed, the seeds were prepared for planting, and the idea was to return the peanuts after harvest. First, the peanuts were soaked in water for 4 hours so they could absorb enough moisture and sprout faster. The leftover shells weren't thrown away. They were used as organic fertilizer for other plants. The soaked peanuts were then wrapped in a damp paper towel, lightly sprayed with water, and left to germinate. Meanwhile, a container was prepared for planting. An old rye sack was cut in half and filled with garden soil. Peanuts grow best in loose, well-draining soil, so sandy soil is the ideal choice. 2 days later, once the peanuts had sprouted, small holes were made in the soil, and each seed was gently planted. Then all that was left to do was wait for the seedlings to appear. About 10 days later, tiny plants began pushing through the soil. A layer of old cloth was spread over the surface to help retain moisture and reduce weed growth. During the early stages, peanut plants need plenty of water, so they were watered every single day. After 30 days, the plants were thriving and covered with flowers. Finally, around day 90, the leaves turned yellow and dry, signaling that the crop was ready. This time, a small handful of peanuts turned into such a large harvest that some were even returned to the neighbor.